Let's go to the phones. Grane's in Alston. Grane, what do you got? Is it Grane?
Hey guys, so just a quick thought on the Jimmy Garoppolo situation. I think the Patriots are really looking to trade him as opposed to keep him. I think his value will never be higher than it is right now. And he only started in 6.5 quarters. That's the definition of an NFL tested quarterback. I think the Patriots should.
Okay.
Was that half cyborg?
I have no idea what the hell that was.
I think that was through a computer.
So
we know how Felger feels about that.
I mean, that was bizarre. You know what? I haven't asked you about Garoppolo yet.
If you call me through your computer, you can go yourself.
Jimmy Stewart.
I'm sorry, is this Grane? Graham? I don't know. Grane in Rhode Island on the NFL touchdowns? Go ahead, Grane.
Felger, I'm going to make 2 points. Please don't interrupt me. Point number 1. First of all, you are completely off base in suggesting that inappropriate celebrations will deter companies from advertising with the NFL. These advertisers compete with each other to push the envelope. The GoDaddy Super Bowl commercials border on pornography. Your example of Campbell's Soup made an ad depicting a family with 2 dads, and the American Family Association nearly has a connection over it. Considering these examples as well as advertising.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
We get it. You recorded this, you're playing it, and you're making some decent points.
It's okay. You need a better phone.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have gone on with the whole bit if you had a better phone. The phone wasn't good enough. You're wrong about your take, by the way. The advertisers care about players gyrating and grabbing their junk during the course of play. They absolutely care. Why do you think the NFL cares? Do you think if their sponsors didn't care, they would care? It's all about the money. It's all about their sponsorships. They care.
Yeah, and GoDaddy isn't one of those companies that's like a year-long sponsor as well. I mean, they just put their nut in one Super Bowl commercial, and that's it. They're worried about your Procter & Gamble's, your Campbell's Soups, and so on and so forth.
Okay, so we are off and running. It's Agenda-Free Friday. You can do whatever you want unless you do something stupid like that. At least, if you're going to do something stupid like that, you call on the landline, and then we're all fine.
But Grane has a great idea of how you can actually watch the eclipse. Grane, you're on Toucher and Rich.
Hi, Rich. I'll preface this by saying I have a PhD in mathematics, and I have lots of friends who are in the physics department, so we properly vetted this procedure. But the cheapest, safe way to view the eclipse is by viewing it from underwater. Now, you can use either goggles or no goggles. That's really a personal choice, but you can go to, like, your local beach, a pool, your local watering hole, and you just go underneath the water and look up at the sun, and it works perfectly. The water acts as like an insulator for the UV rays because it's like so refractive.
What's worse, blindness or drowning?
I've heard it's perfectly safe. The way that water magnifies the light as you're underwater. It's like
Me and my members of the physics club have come up with a perfect method for viewing the eclipse. You go underwater and hold your breath for 2 hours and 42 minutes.
I also don't think
the radio person to me wants to let that call just go, but then there's the socially responsible person to say that's I almost swore.
I don't think he knows what a local watering hole is. It's not what he thinks.
He meant
local watering hole. It's the old fishing pond.
That's right. It's a swimming hole.
Yeah.
He meant to say swimming hole.
I'm just saying.
And instead he said watering hole.
If you're going to a local watering hole, it ain't to go swimming.
Who says they can't be one and the same? You know?
It's not one of these multimedia mavens like you are, Marshall, with your traffic tracker and your headlines and your sports talk hosting. He's new at this. Give the guy a break.
He knows math better than I do.
Physics club.
Green, go ahead.
Hey, guys. So I listen to your program every morning, and you guys dump on Smash Mouth a lot, and I really think it's founded. So I know that it's natural for them to be reduced to basically a meme with how overplayed the All-Star was in their appearances in Rat Race and Shrek. But really, Astro Lounge, I think, is one of the better rock albums of the 90s. And even when you compare it to more iconic albums such as Pearl Jam's 10, Super Unknown, or even Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness, I think it holds up really well. And I think you should give it more of a chance.
You see, I think you came here looking for a fight, but we couldn't agree more with you.
Really?
Yeah. Astro Lounge, I'm talking right up there. In the 90s, it's like Nirvana's Nevermind, maybe Temple of the Dog, and then I got to go Smash Mouth Ultra Low.
See, I really like Siamese Dream. That's like one of my favorite albums of all time.
But it's no Smash Mouth. You're right. I mean, if you're going to go with all things Smash, I'd go Smash Mouth over Smashing Pumpkins.
I mean, we can agree to disagree, but sure, like that's great to hear.
All right, there you go. You got a fan.
I think that was Michael Hurley.
And then maybe an Eve 6. or possibly
You sure?
Vertical Horizon.
what about the stank?
Are we
Huma
sure
stank
that
has to
wasn't
be somewhere
Hurley?
up
Now you
there.
got Dan all excited.
You gotta have a little bit of the stank. You know, maybe a dishwalla. I'm thinking you might want to throw it there. Sugar Ray. I mean, boy,
I
a
can't
top
get-
5 of the '90s is really tough.
I cannot get some Sugar Ray songs out of my head, and it really is maddening.
Like which one? They only had like 2. I just want to fly.
No, there's a hanging.
Every morning.
Yeah,
And those are like the only 2, I think.
Here's is it Graham in Quincy? Grane in Quincy on Julian Edelman. Go ahead.
Hey, Tony, welcome back from Planet Zippy. I got 2 things. Question, if you could guarantee they would be healthy for the entire season, would you rather have Edelman or Gronk on your roster?
Edelman.
And 2, Jay Stu, is he in there?
Yes.
Listen, I love the work that you do with the show, man, but the texture of your voice is like an elongated stamped fart. Leave the talking to the professionals.
What did he say? An elongated what?
I don't know.
Something fart?
Ant
It's
fart?
the tool that God gave me. You don't like it? Too bad.
Amen, Jimmy. Defend your
That's it,
voice.
Jimmy.
That's right. It wasn't a choice.
It's not about voice quality on this
I
program.
wish I had Tangway's voice. I do, but do you want the hot takes that Tangway spews coming out of this microphone? Maybe.
I don't want Tangway's voice. I want nothing to do with Tangway.
None of us know how to speak except for Murray.
No, Murray is polished.
Even that's questionable.
No, Murray's got the legit pipes. The rest of us, we have no idea what we're doing. His point, what was his original point? On Edelman.
Edelman or Gronk.
Can I just say this? I think he is your second most important offensive player. I think he's more important than Gronk. That's not to say you're doomed. Because I agree with others who say that you've never been better equipped to withstand an injury. I think you're loaded at the receiver position. I do think your offense is going to change because you have no one
It has to.
who can run the kind of routes that Edelman ran. Amendola and Hogan. Hogan's definitely more of a vertical guy. They're both better suited to being outside the numbers. Cooks will line up inside, but he's not going to run sideways among the linebackers like Edelman would. So forget about that. Your tight ends will do it, but they're not coming out of the slot position with the quickness that he is. It's a different sort of thing. Your running backs can do it, but they're not coming. Rex Burkhead is not going to line up in the slot like Edelman and run those exactly. He might do it some, but you have no straight replacement. You can't. There's no. You can't go out and trade for it. I mean, guys like Julian Edelman, those don't grow on trees. By the way, just a quick 30-second appreciation for Julian Edelman. I love that player. Like, that is my kind of receiver. Gets open.
Mr. August?
What do you mean, Mr. August?
You don't remember giving him that nickname?
Did I do that once?
Oh, yeah, that goes way back.
Oh, so right. There's a statute of limitations on takes. So if I was wrong about him 5 years ago, then I was wrong.
And then he walked through the hallway an hour later.
Is it that right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was here.
I did. I used to call him Mr. August. That's right. That was a long time ago. So he proved me wrong. So
Yeah, but I can circle back to the take.
Join the list, right? Anyway, he proved to be someone that I love. Gets open, catches the ball, keeps his mouth shut, tough, competitive, team guy.
Gets
man.
concussed, stays in.
Multifaceted.
Tough
right?
as balls.
Special teams, runs it, catches it, all of it.
Perfect. Love that guy. And, you just don't replace that. Never mind just the option route against the linebacker on 3rd and 4 or the getting open on 3rd and 6 at the change where Brady knows exactly where he's going to be. You can't replace that. You're not going to replace that. You're not going to replace that whole package of competitiveness and toughness and team-oriented and just, it's phenomenal. Love the player. You can't replace that. You're going to be different. You're going to be different. Brady loves to throw short over the middle. It's just going to have to come from different places and different alignments with running backs doing it, tight ends doing it, your receivers doing it in different ways.
What about this idea that, the whole running back thing that you're talking about, do you think any of them can last?
Burkhead. That's a tough little mug himself.
Okay, so Burkhead I will allow for. The rest of them I wonder about.
Lewis definitely not.
You can't feed Deion Lewis, and even James White I would worry about, and Amendola can go down at the snap. He's going to go down.
I don't think any of those guys can last 8 games.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Let alone 16. None of them. I don't think they can last 8. They'll get killed. So this is, I just think it might have been the one spot on the roster where they were truly vulnerable. Well, they had no backup at all.
I don't think there's 5 guys like Julian Edelman in the league. I really don't. The Green Bay Packers are supposed to have one in Randall Cobb. He's not close. Not close to Julian Edelman's toughness or quickness or just innate ability to get open underneath and move the chains. There's not many guys like that in the league. The Patriots just seem to find them and crank them out. But Edelman might have been the best. I don't know, him and Troy. I don't know. It's hard to tell. But They can survive it. They will survive it. They'll figure it out. But don't act like that's a nothing loss. That's a huge loss. Grane in the car.
Drill you right in that ass.
Go ahead, Grane. Go.
This is the most infuriating conversation I've heard you guys have in a long time. So just hear me out. I have a degree in physics, so I know what I'm saying here. Look, you're saying 100 feet like it actually means something. Now, if you have a ball at 100 miles an hour, it's going to take about 2/3 of a second to travel 100 feet. If you're standing behind the second base bag, you're already anticipating that the ball is coming. So you have about 0.1 to 0.2 seconds for human reaction time. So, all right, it's going to be like beep, beep. That's how much time you have to move out of the way. Now, if you're playing dodgeball behind second base, there's a good chance you're going to move out of the way of the ball. I'd say you get hit maybe 7 to 10 times. But if you're in a seat, right, and you're not anticipating the ball, you're just watching the game, you're going to have even more time to the reaction time to come to you. So it's going to be like beep, beep. So you think you can move out of the way in beep, beep?
Yes.
No, you can't.
Of course you can.
You can't.
Of course you can.
Beep, beep. Beep, beep.
Beep, beep.
You're not moving out of the way.
I just moved.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No,
I did. I just did it. Are you watching or listening?
What's coming out of your stomach? There's no way.
I just did it. Beep, beep. I was out of the way.
Beep, beep.
I'm out. Done. I missed. It missed. It went right by me.
Kill me now.
This is someone who's a physicist who's never played ball, which is fine. But even Dudley Do right there, I guarantee you, I walk you 100 feet away from where I am, and I got a baseball or a tennis ball. A paintball, I can't tell you. I'm sure I could dodge that too. But
okay.
Oh my God!
From 100 feet.
Oh my God! No, there's no way. There's no way. You've never seen all those things?
No, I have. Unfortunately, I have. Maybe I can't. So I'm telling you, the paintball, I don't know. Do they knuckle?
No, not really. Not the way that they make the guns now. They shoot pretty straight.
Like, I don't know.
You really think you're Neo from The Matrix? This is amazing. By the way, I heard from the dude. I was asking if we could find one of these baseball facilities. There was one in Middleton on 114. Dude hit me up on Twitter, said used to work there. I can get this whole debate set up. I used to get the machines going for catcher's practice. So I'm going to DM him, and so we'll see if we can make this thing happen.
Done.
Can we use tennis balls with it? Because if we use baseballs, we're going to hurt this sissy over here.
Don't worry about me over here. Don't worry about me.
I'm telling you, I want one of those air guns that they use in the golf course.
Okay, but we also got to clear Howie's schedule and Sosi, they got to join me.
And then I'm going to put a Titleist 1 in it and shoot it right off your freaking left hip.
Final word comes your way.
Limping around out there.
Final word next.
3 points. Number one, you had a caller, Eddie from Fitchburg, talk a while ago about the Star Wars plan to shoot down the asteroids. Well, number one, he tried saying that it was implemented in the 60s. By Truman, who was president in the 40s, and the Star Wars movies came out in the 70s. So, Eddie, go read a history book. It was implemented in the 80s by Reagan.
And Star Wars was Reagan, and it was a missile defense. It wasn't an asteroid defense.
Correct.
Well, it was missile, but yeah, all right. Anyway, all right, the Chicago Marathon. Galen Rupp is not the elite American distance runner that everybody thinks that he is. He ran 2:09. He's not going to do. He should run in Berlin.
Hold on 1 second.
What?
So when his call screen said Chicago Marathon, I thought he was talking about the baseball game last night. He's actually talking about a marathon run in Chicago.
Yeah. Me personally, I would not allow this. I know it's Agenda-Free Friday, but
we have our limits. We say agenda-free, but that's really a lie. It's really a lie. What's your third point?
Well, people talk as if marathon running isn't like people aren't doping in marathon running, and they talk about Galen Rupp as if like, oh, him and Alberto are like the worst guys ever. Dude, they're all doping. Kipchoge is doping. Kimoto is doping.
Agreed.
And everybody in track is doping.
Okay, that's it. Do you have another point, Grane? Because I'm going to hang up if that's it.
Oh my God! All right, take it easy. Son.
You too, baby. Love you. Can't do marathon talk, but they're all on drugs. Absolutely. Every elite athlete in every sport is doing something. Yep, you got it.
Chicago Marathon. Oh,
Do
boy.
you recognize one name he was talking about?
Alberto Salazar, I think.
Is that what he said? I heard him say Alberto.
I thought he meant Alberto Salazar, although he's probably about 65 years old.
So the call screener said it actually said Chicago Marathon. Of course. Why wouldn't you think that's the baseball game from last night?
4 hours and 36 minutes last night.
5-hour baseball game. Literally wants to talk about
running
the
in
road
Chicago.
race.
Yeah.
Alberto.
Jerry in the car on Tom Brady. Go ahead, Jerry.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much for taking my call. I just have one
pleasure,
quick
Jerry.
question. So you guys are super excited about the Brady documentary. Everyone's talking about the TB12 method, but conversely, your whole staff everybody's been on some iteration of either Awaken 180, New England Fat Loss, etc., right? So my question is, when are you guys going to take the TB12 method? Should I do the TB12 method? I don't know. I want to hear your reviews, and I'm just wondering how you guys are going to do it.
Jerry, I looked into it. I have the book. I've gone onto his site. I've looked at his numbers, meaning the nutritional information on some of his bars and his shakes. And, New England fat loss is probably a lot of the TB12 principles. I mean, it's becoming a little bit of a consensus science about what to eat and how to eat. And so I think Brady incorporates some of that. So I think we do in the natural course of it. But then, again, so to answer your question, when I looked at some of his stuff, I didn't like the ingredients. The sugar. He's got sugar in his bars. He's got sugar in his shakes. The sugar's not good, and he hides it, as a lot of these health food people do. By it doesn't. When you look at the ingredients, it doesn't list as sugar. It lists as, I think, you get dates,
figs,
things like that. Right. So that's how you get sugar in there, but you don't put sugar on the ingredient thing, so you're not showing sugar. But he felt the need to sweeten it up, and there's plenty of natural sweeteners, natural sugar substitutes that he could use that he doesn't. So I don't want to eat a bar with 25 grams of carbs because he's got sugar in there. And I don't want to drink a shake that has 22 grams of carbs in there because he slipped some sugar in there.
So, you know why they put the sugar in there?
To make it more marketable and taste better.
So you can sell it. Because otherwise you can't, because no one would eat it if it tastes like garbage. So, the principles, though, I'm not totally averse to a lot of that stuff either.
I mean, the pliability, sure. Flexibility, yoga, that's really valuable. I don't do any of that, but yeah, I get it.
We have some people who call in who have butt problems, and they wanted to
it's not
see
all
that we have the
problems.
expert. It's not, but many of them do.
All right.
So we thought we would have the expert come in.
All right, Brian, your question for Dr. Oz.
Hey, what's going on, Dr. Oz?
Very well, Brian. What's your question?
So I got a kind of a two-parter here. I told my friend I was calling in. He has a question about his butt, too. But my first question is, every time I go to the bathroom, just straight water. Every single time I go to the bathroom, whether I eat healthy, whether I eat crappy, just straight water. What do I do about that?
Well, if you go to the bathroom more than 3 times a day in any consistency, then you need to see somebody. Because when you have watery stool coming out, you're not absorbing the food that you're eating, which means you, for example, could be eating really healthy food, but you might have a gluten issue. So any little itty-bitty gluten, which could sneak into your peanut, to your ketchup or your mustard even, maybe a condiment, can irritate your gut, cause holes in it, and then you'll have that watery diarrhea. Does it hurt you when you go to the bathroom?
Oh, yeah, it burns pretty bad. It feels like an STD.
Yeah, there are lots of things, including STDs, that can cause it. But if you have watery stool, you need to get scoped real quickly. This is not worth fooling around with. And you can find that if you have irritable bowel, inflammatory bowel, Crohn's, ulcerative colitis, and lots of issues that can cause it. And why? Listen, there's some things in life that are knowable, there's some that aren't. This is knowable. Why would you take a chance? Go figure it out. You won't have to have watery diarrhea every day.
I have a feeling if I spent a day with you, I would be very concerned about my health.
The things that we think are normal.
Massive red flags. I got enough to deal with.
I'm actually concerned about you. In fairness, this is an intervention. That's why I came on.
Yeah, I know. I did. I had a little too much to drink last night, apparently, and now this is an intervention that's going on with Dr. Oz. All right. We'll take one more phone call. I don't want to waste the man's time just giving out advice here. I don't want to. Grane, is that your name?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, Greg.
Love the show. I just wanted to ask a question about sanitary techniques for wiping the butt. I mean, I'm serious about this. This is something that I think parents teach their kids, but maybe don't have the best idea of how specific to be. So, I mean, there are two parts. Is there any difference between going through the legs in the front or going around the back? And also, how...
All right,
that is enough of that.
Yeah, so let's go through this real quick because this is a classic example. Okay. So if you got poop on your hand, you wouldn't wipe it off with toilet paper. You'd wash your hands.
Exactly.
So the reason most of the world doesn't use toilet paper but water is because it works more effectively.
Thank you. Bidets.
So bidets are best. If you don't have a bidet, then you take a toilet paper, put a little water on there, put a little spray bottle in your bathroom, spit on it. Doesn't matter. You get a little moist. Don't take sandpaper, which is toilet paper basically, and rub your bottom. That's what causes a lot of hemorrhoid issues.
Mm-hmm.
With regard to which way you pull, most people probably are better off going forward to back. Because
absolutely.
You avoid contamination, the perineum can get dirty, etc. Why bother with it? But the bigger issue is to make sure that the poop itself is not toxic to you. So if you got stuff coming out of you that's like cannonballs or watery diarrhea like the earlier question, it's not going to work.
So I'm sorry, we were going to talk about something else, but real quick, I have to take this call. John Jr., what's up? John, you're on Toucher and Rich. He's gone. Okay. John, if you're there, call back. He had an interesting story that we might need to discuss if he calls back. I don't know if it's real or not, but it's definitely something that caught my attention. So, congratulations, you hooked me.
John, go ahead.
Hi, is John Wallace there?
Yes.
Hi, this isn't easy for me to say, but I was adopted at birth, and I just found out who my mom was a year ago. She was a graduate from Hobart in the early 90s.
Okay.
And through interviews with her friends and through searching through yearbooks, I think you might be my biological father.
Wow. Well, that's news to me. How about that?
So, I mean, I gave the call screener my number. I'd prefer not to go through the details on there, but if you want to talk and go for some lunch or coffee or something, I'd be more than open to.
Okay.
What do you look like?
John, the master of improvisation.
I'm not quite sure. You see, there's that tinge of really?
John getting served up softballs and really whiffing on them.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I'm not the comedic genius I need to be here.
So I think that you could
it's all too real.
Yeah, I think you could be alive and be able to work with this call a little bit. Hey, John, I'm your biological son. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Okay, thanks, Carol. Appreciate it. Appreciate the call. Thanks, man.
That's exactly my next one.
Thanks for calling. Nice stuff. Yeah.
Well, guy just calls in. He says, "Look, I'm gonna tee one up for you."
Yeah, and you're just gonna let it fly off the good content radar. All right.
Okay, I got some Bruins calls on the board. We will service you because we're here for everybody. Ron in Newburyport, go. Yeah, I did it. We finally did it, Maz.
Ron, you there?
No, don't wake him up.
That's a lie.
Let's see if we can work Belichick into it. Yeah. Decided to not play Malcolm. It was a coach's decision.
I'm going to put him on hold.
There's no way that's real.
Brian in the car. Go ahead, Brian. What do you got?
Hey, guys. Just thinking about the Bergeron injury. He's a tough player. Like, you obviously know he plays through everything. But I think them finding that hairline fracture or whatever it is just a way to figure out how these new guys are going to work in the system that they have.
And I don't believe that. You don't put him on the shelf so you can get in Tommy Wingles. You put him on the shelf because he's got a little injury, and why risk it here down the stretch?
Yeah, exactly. But then you can see how you can place these other guys in, how they work better with the players that we have.
Okay, silver lining. Silver lining if you want. You're not sitting your best player on your Hart Trophy candidate so you could see Brian Jonta float around out there. Would you stop? In that case, you sit Tim Schaller. And a lot of guys you'd sit before Bergeron if you want to work in one of those guys. Well, I think there's a commentary on our show, Maz. Let's see how Ron in Newburyport's doing.
Hey, Mike. Hi, Tony. How you doing, Jim?
Ron, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. How you feeling, pal?
All right. I sorry I dozed off.
No, that's okay, man. That happens. That's, sorry about that. That's our fault.
All right. My question is, how's it going to impact the Bruins for the next 2 weeks where they don't have a Bergeron, not going to have another center? Is that why they traded for that fourth center from Chicago?
Okay, Ron. Thank you for the call again. It's our fault, not yours. We put you to sleep.
Maybe he was really asleep.
Oh, he was really asleep. That was real. There's no question that was real.
Billy picked him up and woke him up.
Oh, why'd you do that? What are you doing, Billy?
I told him to.
Don't wake him up.
I wanted to see if he could try.
Well, why would you try and wake him up? That was going to be on the air.
Did we record that? Yeah, Ron, it's Billy. Wake up.
I wanted to see how many times it would take to wake him up.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Did Billy scream at Billy? What'd you say? Did you go, hey, Ron, Billy, what'd you do to wake him up?
Yelled.
What'd you yell?
Said, Ron. Hey, Ron. Ron, are you awake? Yeah, hello? Ron, are you awake? Yeah, all right, well, let me get you back on hold.
Yeah, Ron, you awake? Because you're snoring. It's
See,
Billy.
I don't think you should have done that. You just let him go.
It's
I do.
Billy.
It's funnier.
What do you want to talk about, Ron? Wake up, Ron. What do you want to talk about? Where you from?
Sitting on the street and I'm spilling on my beats, all over your feet.
Introduction to functional analysis with application.
Results obtained by two methods. These methods discrete counting parentheses. Garoppolo, two purchases. Each has this existence. The path of one, two.